Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you might be watching me from. My name is John Olesan. As you know, I'm a realtor. I sell lands and houses in Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, UK, the US, and Dubai. Lands and houses. And in today's broadcast, I want to talk about 5 mistakes to avoid when you're buying properties in Nigeria. 5 mistakes you should avoid when buying properties in Nigeria. And the first mistake you should avoid is buying a property without a valid legal title. You see, every land transaction generally has a legal document that should back it up. In Nigeria, the primary legal document or the primary statute that regulates land transactions in Nigeria is the Land Use Act of 1978. And by that act, all lands are vested under the authority of the governor of a state. And one of the provisions of the law is that for every transaction to be done, for any and every transaction to be done, it must get the consent of the governor. And ideally, when you get a land, a document is given to accompany the land, which is called a right of occupancy. It is now without your right of occupancy that you now process what you call your certificate of occupancy. The right of occupancy is called the R of O. The certificate of occupancy is called the C of O, as we know. Now, the right of occupancy now lists out all the responsibilities expected of you in owning the land, duty to pay the land use charge or ground rent, like the purpose for which the land is, whether it's residential, whether it is commercial, whether it is industrial. So basically, when you get a land and you do not have the document, you're setting yourself up for trouble. So that is one mistake you should avoid, buying a land or a house that does not have that document. It could be an R of O, which could now be processed to get a C of O. It could be an excision. An excision is like an order from the government apportioning a certain land to some people. That process is called excision. It's now put in a document called a gazette. So excision and gazette is another form of title. And many times, if you're buying in a residential real estate or so, it may be hard for you to get the C of O in your name because it may be a C of O that will just cover the whole property. Then from then, they will give you a document called a deed of assignment. So a deed of assignment is a document that transfers ownership from the original owner of a property to you. It's secondary and it still needs the consent of the governor, right? So please avoid this mistake, buying land without good legal title. I know people who have lost money by buying the wrong title. One thing you need to know is that a power of attorney is not a legal title. The Supreme Court decided that in the case of Ude versus Unwara, a power of attorney is not a valid legal title to transfer ownership of land from one person to the other. A power of attorney is just simply a document given by somebody called the donor, the owner of the property, giving a power to make sales or to deal with the property, gives that power to another person called the donee, who could be a lawyer or somebody else, to transact with the land, whether to sell it. But you see, that power of attorney doesn't make that land transaction valid. You still need to get your C of O or your deed of assignment or whatever it is. So please don't make the mistake of buying a land without proper and correct documentation. The second one from my notes is not knowing the importance of land, of location. Please, a minute. All right, sorry, I'm back. I quickly had to attend to something. So not knowing the importance of location. They say that 3 things you look out for when buying a land or property. Number 1, location. Number 2, location. And number 3, location. Location is everything. Location is everything. That's why a property, for instance, where I am based in Abuja, in one place, maybe a 4-bedroom can be selling for 50 million. Then another 4-bedroom in another location can be selling for 200 million. Why the difference? Location. So you need to understand it is actually land that is more valuable, not the property on the land. So that's why, for instance, if you sell a land, you get 10%. If you sell a house, you get 5%. Why is that? Because land is more valuable. So for instance, a land of 1,000 square meters in a place like Maitama or Asokoro is more valuable than a land in a Lugbe, in a Kuje, or in a Gwagwalada. In Lagos, a land in a Banana Island is more valuable and more expensive than a land in an Ajegunle or even a Magodo. So you cannot afford to just buy land anywhere because location is what makes the difference. So you want to look at the location of where you want to buy. What are the things that will increase the value of the location? So if new businesses come to that place, for instance, the value of the property will skyrocket. So look at Lagos, for instance, that Dangote refinery. It's coming there, change the cost of the value of land in that place. I belong to a cooperative and we invest in real estate, we invest in cryptocurrency and in shares. In 2018, they bought land there for 10 million. As of 2022, that same land rose to about 100 million naira in value. I think that's a lie, but that's true. Because the coming of the Dangote refinery changed so many things. So you want to look at the fact or look at things that will bolster the value of land. Another thing that can bolster the value of land is the surrounding amenities in that place. So recently in an estate in Gwarimpa that I sold to a client, the property that I sold in about 2021 was going for 11 million. But just by 2023, 2024 is going for for about 45 million, almost over 300% increase. Now, why is that? That is not just like the place I sold is not just like every other estate. This estate is like a fully serviced estate sitting on about 30 hectares of land. The estate has about over 800 units of different apartments. It has a hospital that is almost completed. It will have shopping malls. It will have a school. So you can see it to be like a full service estate that people can stay in even without going out, right? So these are the things that matter. Location matter. All lands are not the same. Some lands increase in value faster than others. So you want to take these things into consideration or consult with a real estate consultant like me to advise you on these areas. Because these are the things that add value to land. The third mistake you should avoid when buying a land or property is, when I say land, I mean bare land or property, it already has a house or anything. The third mistake you should avoid is not doing a legal search. A legal search is simply a search in the land registry or the Corporate Affairs Commission registry or the court to know the history of the land, to know whether there's any issues over the land. Because in a land registry, there are documents that contain the history of the land, from whom it was passed over to, from one person to the other. There's also in the land registry that you know whether there's any mortgage on the land. So if the current owner has not cleared off his mortgage, if you buy that property, you will acquire the debt. You want to know all that. So don't just buy a land without doing a search. A search is very important. It will save you from what you say called stories that touch. Get a lawyer to do a search for you. I remember recently, sometime last year, I did a search for somebody. I wanted to buy the land worth 3 million, but I just asked to do a search. By the time I went and did a search at the land registry in Abuja, it was the document that they gave me to do this was even a forged document. It was not even a legitimate document. It was forged. And even the position, it was just a forged document, so the land was non-existent. That's how he would have paid this 3 million and it would have gone down the drain. But a simple search saved him from that. So when you do the search, you can go, for instance, in Abuja, you can go to the municipal area council if it's a land given by the area council. You can go to the FCDA, Federal Capital Territory Development Authority, to do the search. Go to AGIS, Abuja Geographic Information Service, to do the search. They will tell you the history of land. They will tell you who the owner of the land is. So this one search. That's a legal search you need to do. The other searches you will need to do: go around to the property, ask questions, ask for whether there's encumbrance or anything. Because the position of the law is that once you get a land, you acquire all the liabilities that are on the land. So don't make this third mistake, which is buying a land without doing a search. The fourth mistake you should avoid is taking too much time to invest. You don't have all the time in the world to invest. Yes. Because you see, why does real estate increase in value? One of the things that makes real estate to increase in value is that it's a fixed resource. The quantity of land in this whole world is fixed. It cannot increase in size. So do you understand? Land cannot be created. Even if you want to say you want to reclaim the sea to have more land, even the sea is fixed in size. So because it's a fixed resource and it is fixed in size, this is one thing that leads to its appreciation in value. This is different from shares. Your company can have shares of 1 billion naira. Tomorrow it can increase the share capital to 10 billion naira. So you can see, but land, you cannot just create new land. That's why in a place like New York, Manhattan, land is so valuable there that it's very hard to get land. You see some people, when they are buying properties, they may buy from the first floor to the 20th floor. Another person will buy from the 21st floor to the 40th floor. Another person maybe 41st to 50th floor. Because land is scarce, right? So they build up. So land is something that cannot be created. That's one thing that makes land to increase in value from time to time. So don't think you have all the time. Don't think that you wait until the money comes. Rather, if you have a property that you're interested in, do a part payment and lock it down at that price. So that even if the price increases, you already have that down payment. You've already done it at a certain price and they cannot change the rules. So as I said, the property I sold to a person for 45 million, as at 2011, it was going off plan for 11 million. And the person had the opportunity to spread payment over 18 months. So don't think you have all the time to invest because it will keep going up. Okay, let's even put that one aside. Just take your conventional house rent. You agree with me? Have you ever seen where house rent reduces in amount? In Nigeria, no. It either remains the same or increases. So recently, I received a letter from my landlady increasing my house rent by about 80%. It has been same for the last 5 years, but she just decided to increase it. So that's the thing about land or property. It always increases in value. So don't think you have all the time before you invest. Don't take time to invest. Once you've done your search, you've asked your questions and you are sure this is the right deal, go into it. Close the deal. Seal that deal. Because land keeps appreciating in value, primarily because it is a scarce resource. It's not something that can be created out of the blues. It is fixed, right? And the last but not the least, there are so many of them, but the last but not the least I will say is this: investing on your money in real estate. Wow, this might seem paradoxical. I mean, I've been telling you why to invest this and this. You're not telling me not to invest on my money. Yes, because to a very great extent, you don't want to be without cash. You may have other investments beyond real estate that you're interested in, and you want to quickly liquidate it to get. So can I be truthful to you? Real estate is not like the stock market where you can offload your shares in a day. Sometimes it may take you a week, a month, a year to make some sales. So in as much as real estate is very juicy and appealing, you don't want to invest all your money in real estate at once. You want to have money for your health, for your insurance, for your vacation, to take care of yourself, to attend to other needs. So you don't want to put all your money, still have some money in cash, because they say cash is king. So in conclusion, I've spoken to you on 5 mistakes to avoid when buying property, whether it's a land or whether it's a house. The first mistake to avoid is buying a property without legal title. The second mistake to avoid is not knowing the importance of location when you are buying. The third mistake to avoid is not doing a legal search. The fourth mistake to avoid is taking too much time to invest. And the last mistake to avoid is putting all your money into real estate. You want to do other things too. Thank you so very much for taking so much time to listen to me. I hope you've learned one or two things. Why do I do all this post? I'm of the view that the number one law of investment is first to invest in the knowledge of a business before you invest in the business. Invest first in the knowledge of the business before you invest in it. So with this knowledge I've passed out to you, you know when you're doing your next real estate investment, you're in a better position to do it. If you need more advice or consultation on how to successfully invest in real estate, you can reach out to me on +234 813 799 0792. I go again, +234 813 +234 813 799 0792 +234 813 799 0792. My name is John Olis. I'm a realtor. If you need land, you need houses in Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, in the UK, US, Dubai, reach out to me. Thank you so very much for taking up your time to listen to me. Have a wonderful day and new month ahead in the month of April. Bye.